Everyone, so I wanted to take a few minutes to go over the final essay for the course, the empathy essay, and kind of let you know what I'm expecting for that assignment. First off, I want you all to look at the folder that is titled Empathy Overview Articles and TED Talk. I really think if you will take the time to watch this TED Talk and also read at least parts of these articles, it'll give you a better understanding of what empathy actually is and where I'm really wanting you to go with this overall essay. A lot of you may not even know exactly what I mean by the title of the assignment, so this will help you understand that. Okay. For this essay, let's talk very quickly about the instructions for the essay. So first off, like I said, I want you to look over the information in this folder, and then you are going to compose an essay that discusses a specific text that you've read this semester. So it could be a poem, it could be one of the short stories that you were assigned to read, or it could be Hamlet, but it has to be one of the assigned readings for the course. You also are going to talk about the lesson that you have learned from that text or a personal characteristic that you have developed in some way that relates to that text. And then you're going to talk about how that specific lesson or characteristic can be used in your chosen career field. So you're going to tie what we learned in the literature that we read to the career you are choosing to pursue. So if you look at these instructions right here, it really breaks down what I'm expecting in each of the each of the paragraphs. You can see how long each paragraph should be. Of course, this is a minimum, so if it is longer, that is okay. This should be a more basic essay as far as you're not having to do as much research as your Hamlet essay and incorporate as much outside information as your past essays, so just keep that in mind. So you still have your introduction paragraph that should be at least 4 sentences. You need a hook statement at the beginning. So that might be the definition of empathy. It could be some type of significant statement that's talking about the impact literature can have on readers. You do need a brief summary of the text you have chosen to write about. By brief, I mean 2-3 sentences. And then your thesis statement. So you have a sample thesis statement here. You will see that it has the title of the story that you are choosing to write about. It's talking about empathizing, and it tells the lesson that's going to be discussed. And then it also mentions careers. It could mention a specific career you're going to pursue, but you should have the title of that work, you should have the lesson, and then something about careers or your specific career tied into that thesis statement. I do want to say that I do not want you to write this essay on a prior piece of literature that you have written past essays on, unless you're taking a completely different angle. It doesn't need to fill out the same essay at all. Okay, so if you think that's going to be an issue, then I would choose something else. Okay, so then each body paragraph has a very specific topic. So body paragraph 1 should be a very detailed summary of the chosen literary work. So you've given a brief summary in your introduction paragraph, and here is where you're going to include the details that relate to the lesson and the characteristic you're going to discuss later on. Okay, so this is where you tell me all the details. Body paragraph 2 is going to expand on the lesson or the characteristic that you learned through the text. You also may even talk about how this could help you in your personal life. And then body paragraph 3 is going to talk about how that specific characteristic or lesson can impact your chosen career field. So how is that going to help you be a better teacher, or how is that going to help you be a better nurse, whatever career you are choosing to do. So you want to keep all these parts in mind while you're choosing a piece of literature you want to write about, because you want to be able to tie everything together. And then your conclusion should have a reworded thesis, your summary of your subtopics, and then a clincher. So remember, your clincher should be that lasting thought you want to leave with your reader, ending on a positive note. The clincher, you really want that to be strong. Okay, so I have a student sample here, and of course this is not perfect, however it is a great sample. So open it up and make sure that you have it where you can see the comments as well. Okay, so I have highlighted certain parts. Right here you can see the thesis statement. It has the title of the work. It has the lesson that she is describing. And then it has the specific career she's going to discuss. Okay, so all of those necessary elements are in the thesis statement. Okay, this first paragraph here is a detailed summary of the literary work that she's writing about, which is home burial in this specific example. Okay, the next paragraph is going to be on the lesson or overview of the lesson. So here it's talking about how people cannot understand the way that all people grieve. Everyone grieves differently. So we need to be aware of that, and we need to be able to accept the fact that someone else may grieve differently than we do. Talks about how the benefits of being able to settle down in a situation that may be difficult and listen to someone else. Okay, and then the next part is talking about her specific career field as a counselor and tying that all together and how that lesson will benefit her in that career. And then here you can see she has the reworded thesis at the beginning, and then at the end she has, as this is the case, it is important to approach all aspects of life with an understanding heart, and so should a counselor when helping clients better understand themselves and their loved ones. So here that's her clincher statement, and it's telling why this is important. Okay, why is this important in relation to the career she is choosing, and it's ending on a positive note, which is the purpose or one of the functions of a clincher. And you do not have to do a works cited page for this assignment, which is very rare, so do not get used to doing that. But for this essay, it's a little bit quicker, not as formal as the others, not as researched as the others, so you do not have to do a works cited page on this specific essay. Okay, well, that is the overview of the empathy essay, and I hope that all that makes sense. I hope that this has been a great semester for you. If you need any help, please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you.